Obi Wan Kenobi, Disney's Star Wars, Obi Wan Kenobi. It's not bad. First two episodes came out. They weren't bad. It plays Obi Wan again. They brought him back, which is pretty cool. And it's showing what happens after the Great Jedi Purge, where they're slaughtering all of the Jedi. Never really understood that. Jedi were like magic space wizards with lasers. The whole Star Wars thing is samurai and cowboys, right? You got guys with magic blades. You got shoot 'em ups happening. It's cowboys and samurai, which is cool. They did it in a really cool way. But magic, cowboys and samurais. A bunch of guys with guns who usually miss show up and kill off all of the Jedi. And usually one of them can kill like 20 of those guys. I don't understand how they killed all, even with there being, Sith involved or whatever. It just seems like if you went to a place where there were 5, 10, 20 Jedi, and you just had a bunch of dudes with guns, you were gonna lose, man. You remember that scene where Darth Vader's walking, one Sith, he was trained by the Jedi, walking down that hallway in the dark, and then this blade comes on and everybody freaks out and he's killing everybody even though they got guns and everything? It was one dude, man. But this is what happens after the purge, after they kill everybody. Grogu should have been in there too because he was a part of that. He escaped it. They haven't shown him yet, but I'm sure he's got to be part of it. They got to bring him up. This is part of his story also. Moses Ingram, who I had not heard of before, is in this as third sister, also known as Inquisitor Reva. She's a bad chick, man. She is a bad chick. She was trained by the Jedi, so she's a Jedi. She turns on the Jedi, goes to the Dark Force, and since they can't have, there's not supposed to be more than 2 Sith, they take all of these basically Sith and they turn them into what they call Inquisitors. They go around looking for the last of the Jedi. When they find them, they wipe them out. But Reva is looked at as less than the other Inquisitors. Not really sure why. They say she's human. I didn't know that they had humans because this is a land far, far away and a long, long time ago. So I don't think regular humans were there, but they call her a human. So I guess she's a human. Movies, right? So she's in there and she wants to prove her worldly worth. So she's going to catch Obi-Wan and bring him to Darth Vader. Now she knows that Obi-Wan trained Vader, and she knows that Vader is actually Anakin Skywalker. That's kind of cool. She knows that. Wonder what she's going to do with that information. This movie is supposed to have O'Shea Jackson Jr., which is Ice Cube's kid. He's supposed to be in. He's in some of everything lately. He's supposed to be in this. Fifth brother, another one of the Inquisitors, is played by Sang Khan, and he's pretty good. You'll know him primarily from the Fast and Furious stuff. Kamali Najani. I am certain that I butchered that name, so I'm just going to put it right up here. But he's in it, and he's, as always, he's pretty funny. He's a funny guy. Comic relief in this otherwise villainous, deadly show. But I like it. It's not, the first couple of episodes do not put me in mind of The Mandalorian. It's a different pace, and there's different things going on. It's a different section of space, but they may run into one another during this time. Actually, probably not, because I guess the Mandalorian would be like a little kid now, because Obi-Wan is like middle-aged, right? And when he meets Luke, he's an old dude, and then he eventually dies, and then Luke, is training as an adult, is training Grogu, and that's when the Mandalorian is around. So the Mandalorian's out there in space somewhere. He's not even born yet, but at best he's just a little kid. So I guess the Mandalorian's not showing up. The Mandalorian, but a Mandalorian may show up, Boba Fett or one of those guys. It looks like it's going to be really good. I like the direction that they're going in. They're concentrating on Obi-Wan, but the first 2 episodes kind of concentrating on Princess Leia. You know those kids in the movie where you just want to give them a gentle caress and say, stop being such a bad child? In this movie, with the girl, she's running off. I know what I'm doing. I'm 10 years old. And she's running off and gets captured. The day the earth stood still, Jaden Smith, I'm 10 years old. I know what I'm doing. And runs off into the woods. I don't like that. I'm not a fan of children that are just making it more difficult. Even I don't really like the damsel in distress, man. The hero's over there fighting with a bunch of bad guys, and then the damsel in distress has to go in there like, what's going on? What's happening in here? Leave him alone. And she tries to pick up a piece of wood and hit one of the bad guys. Now he's got to deal with her too. You're in the way, man. You're just in the way. And not just because she's female, because she's a side note to the action story. Like these kids, they're a side note to the action story. Guys can be side notes to action stories too. I mean, we saw Wonder Woman. Steve Trevor wasn't doing a great deal to help her. I just don't like it when the hero is distracted by the person he's supposed to be saving. I guess that's what I'm saying. I don't like that. I'm not a fan of that. I don't dig it. I don't think it adds to the story. I would rather they would take that idea and give it a finger across the throat, as Drax would say. But this is a good show, man. It's a really good show. I like where they're going with it. I don't want to give too much away because it just got started, but Obi-Wan, after almost all of the Jedi have been wiped out, has found himself a little spot. He's going to hide in his cave. He's working in a meat factory, chopping up meat, taking a little bit of meat home at night so he can eat because he doesn't really make any money. He's living in a cave, so it's not like he's got electricity and running water and stuff. Living in a cave. And he's watching Luke. So in the original, which is now, I think, number 9, A New Hope, Star Wars show, when he pops out of the cave and he's helping Luke, and he's like, I gotta tell you about your father, your real father. And he takes him into space. This is where that starts. He's in that cave now, chilling out. But he's gonna be there forever. Because when he meets Luke as an adult, he's like 70 years old. Right now, he's like 35, 40 or something like that. Maybe older, but he's got at least a good 20 years before he meets Luke. That's a long time to be hanging out in that cave, man. So they've got to have some kind of build up to what's going on. Clearly, he's not going to die because he's got to meet Luke. This is a prequel to some stuff that's happening. Most of the characters that you hear about in the story that you're not seeing in the original Star Wars movies are probably going to get killed because they're not in those movies. So it's it's clear what's going to happen of some of the cast. It's interesting how they're going to get to those places. So I dig this. Right now, I would give Obi Wan Kenobi, better than I thought, because I thought it was going to be complete garbage. I would give Obi Wan Kenobi 7 bags of popcorn. 7 bags of popcorn. It's okay. It's not super duper great, but it is okay. But that's what I think. More importantly, what do you think? Now that you've seen the video, let's talk about it in the comments. And as always, if you like the video, if you like the content, subscribe. And then like.
Popcorn passport. Get your popcorn passport.